Hello, everyone. This is Wade Franson. I'm your host of Created in the Image of God. We have a very special sneak peek for you now of episode 114, which will air at 8 p.m. on September 3rd. We have a repeat guest in the studio, Bruce Koerber, who is the author and originator of the divine economic theory and models. Welcome to the studio, Bruce.
Great to be here, Wade. Thank you.
Well, I could not be more excited. We're now on a theme that will be running for a couple of months with repeat appearances from you over the next several months. This is your second time on the show, and we're going to dive into macroeconomics, rethinking macroeconomics. I have here the little description that you'll be breaking down the essentials of the innovative macroeconomic model that you've developed. So one of the things about this is that you're separating economics from politics. And there's a reason for that. Unpack that for us here in the sneak peek.
Well, the thing is, the economy is really organic. And the reason it's organic is because human beings are organic, and there's no such thing as an economy without human beings. And so the other thing about humans is they're subjective. They have subjective valuations, and they make subjective choices. And there is no way anyone can anticipate what the subjective choices and values of billions of people spontaneously can be. So any efforts to do that, any purposeful efforts by like a government or whatever to manipulate outcomes because what they anticipate to be true is not possible because of the subjectivity of human beings. So it basically ends up being a corruption and leads to injustices.
Well, so I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball question here because we haven't talked about this. But is it fair to say that the way that nature functions is a divinely created order in which you have all these different species who, at some level of definition of the word choice, are making choices? And that creation is a kind of economy that works and is perfect. And yet we as human beings have desires, free will, and a higher level of thought and consciousness, and therefore a greater variety of choices for a whole lot more complex reasons as to why we make them. Is that fair?
Yeah, that is fair. And I think when it's just instinct that is driving the choices, it's maybe some of the natural laws can be used to predict and maybe model that behavior. But like humans, like you mentioned the word free will, that they can change their mind instantaneously, and it's just not possible for anyone to anticipate that. And so if they try, then it's going to fail because and the only thing the thing that's so interesting about it, it's not like then what do we do? Because God created an aspect of the economy called the market, which is where all this information is flowing, and it takes care of itself without interference. So it's not like you're not having any control over it. I mean, the world can't work without that because the market does that. And the alternative is something that is contrary to the market and causes injustice, whereas the market basically reflects human choices.
Well, I cannot wait for September 3rd, when we're going to dive into this for at least a full hour. We had so much fun last time, and I learned so much, and we will continue to advance this conversation. So to all of our listeners and those who hopefully will see this sneak peek as it's shared out, you don't want to miss episode 114 of Created in the Image of God on September 3rd, 8 p.m. Central with Bruce Koerber. Be there.